So your like problem will be this. No horizontal asymptotes, vertical asymptotes, and zeros is shown. It's important to remember that zeros come from the numerator because we're multiplying by 0, and vertical asymptotes come from the denominator because we're undefined when we divide by 0. So that means because we were allowed to put it in factored form, it's pretty simple. Zeros at x minus, or at x equals -3, well, -3 would make this 0, so that's my factor. Similarly, x minus 5 would have a 0 of 5. My asymptotes would be at x minus 2 and at x plus 2. Now the problem with this, as we see it right now, is that we'd have the zeros correct, but we will have a horizontal asymptote, because this will multiply together to be x squared over x squared, and I'd have an asymptote at 1. So what we really need is we need something with a slanted asymptote, or like a parabolic asymptote. And that happens when the numerator has a bigger power than the denominator. Think about x cubed over x squared. That simplifies to y equals x. That's a slanted line or a slanted asymptote. Now it didn't give me more zeros, so I can't add more factors, but I could increase the multiplicity. So now I will have x plus 3. When x is very big, I can ignore everything but the x, and x squared would be x cubed on top, and I'd only have x squared on the bottom. So now something like this takes care of everything that we want.